Hello and welcome to the Brick Freak. Today with the review of, as you only see partial, of Mould King's big bucket wheel excavator, model number 17006, 4,500 pieces, a little bit more. The adventures of the bag. Okay, I bring it into the picture, but first we go through. Okay, I haven't found a mock. That's this here. Yes, obviously color-wise they looked at the Lego excavator, bucket wheel excavator, but it's totally different construction. I found on Eurobricks a similar looking with 22,000 pieces. A guy bought 9 of the Lego excavators in. But that piece looked very similar, like this here, only in a much bigger form. So I don't know if this really is, perhaps this is really a self-developed set from Mould King. It would be nice. It would be nice. Okay, instructions are pretty clear. 1, 2 small mistakes, but when you don't watch exactly, you didn't recognize the mistakes. Sometimes you have 12 pins, but you only build 10 or something. So small mistakes, no problem to assemble at all. What cool is from the Mould King instructions, meanwhile, it has 8 building steps, 5L motor, 1XL motor, 6-way accu box, and the new analog digital RC, which has an accu too. Yesterday I tried the functions for the video because it's a little bit disappointing when I want to show you when nothing works. So I tried the functions before and I opened with the screwdriver the back, and then I recognized, oh man, Frank, you don't need batteries, it's an accu. Okay, so far. Mould King has a really good instructions. Meanwhile, you see in the beginning what you can do with the motors. Okay, here they show you the old accu box. Well, no, the new one. The new one where you can change the motors, how the direction they are turning, how you bring motors together. That 3 motors on 3 different ports are on one button, and so on. So that's pretty cool. And in the end, they really show you every function with the remote, what you have to do to get the function done. Okay, so it's a pretty good instructions. It's a really decent assembling. It makes a lot of fun. It's not too complicated, not so much gears as you thought when you see it. So it's a straight build. So I bring it in the picture. So I hope you still see me here. Okay, the assembling starts with the lower circle here. Then we are building the upper circle. Next building step are the 3 parts where the tracks are on and the motor is sitting in. This is one building step and you put it together. The L motors are sitting downwards in here, so we have 3 L motors for the driving. We have the XL motor for turning. We have another L motor here to lower the arm over these cords here, and we have the 5th L motor that is for the transport band and the bucket wheel here. So a lot of motors. After the tracks here, you assemble the possibility to turn and this pillar. Next building step is the counterweight arm here, and the last 2 building steps are our arm with the bucket wheel, the transport band. Last building step is then the second pillar here, connected with the arm and then connected with the whole structure. In between here you have the possibility to keep them here close together before you bring on all the cords here. There are 2 cords, each has 4 meters in length, so it's a lot of a lot of annoying work here at the top of the set. Okay, how big it is you have seen in the set information, like always, so I don't have to measure it. Now we came to the part that all of you are waiting. Has Mould King done something? Oh wait, there are two things that are, I tell you the two things that are not so good in the set. The Akku box sits underneath the whole thing here, looking downwards, but you have no possibility to find the charging port. That's really stupid. So I lift it up, hold it, one of my childs goes underneath, put in the cable, and I put it to the ground to charge. So that's really annoying. If you use it a lot, perhaps you let the cable plugged in and bring the cable, try to get that you don't see it, but you let the cable in. If you're really a guy who sits every day with his bucket wheel excavator in a sandcastle or building a sandcastle, you know what I mean. But most guys like me, we test it and have fun, and then a visitor came and say, wow, that's impressive, does it work? And you show him 5 minutes that it works. For that, it's okay. So I believe the capacity of the Akku holds for 3 or 4 times showing the functions. Okay, so far. Now we're working. So first, what I show the instructions to you is you put the left analog stick forward, but then only this track here works. And you see nothing moves because it's too heavy for one L motor. So we have to move the left analog stick forward and push the 2 buttons, shoulder buttons, like a PS controller. And you see in nearly light speed how he moves forward. Okay, so first function works. Second function, the lower shoulder button move only one track, and so the whole thing turns. Okay, second function works. Next function, works. It makes a lot of fun. I have to admit, it makes a lot of fun. Okay, so what have we next? I show you this, I show you that. So, okay, now comes the function, that's the second part, what is not so good on the set, the Akku box. And here, the L motor turns the transport band, and the transport band turns the bucket wheel. So, that's not so good. Better solution would be another motor in here that turns it. It would be a much better solution. But okay, we don't have it. So let's see how it works. The transport band works, but the bucket wheel, it slips. It's not a smooth movement, you see it. But I'm sure here, in my case, there's one bloody lift arm sitting in front here, 1x7 in dark bluish gray. And when you remove that, then the gears are smoother. So just, it sits directly here. Remove the 1x7 Technic beam or lift arm. The Germans say lift arm, I believe the English term is Technic beam, because it always comes to the knob or the knobs of the gear. That's I remove it later, and I believe then it's smoother, but it's not so really cool. Okay, next is here the other motor. No, that was wrong. So now the he's moving the arm up, but you see, light speed again. It takes a lot of time. And backwards. Yes, it's a little bit faster because we don't have to push all the weight. You see, you need a lot of time. So we stop it here. You see, it works. Okay. So when you bring this together, bring the arm before you push all, before you bring in here the cords, the arm as deep as you can, and then bring on the cords and then push the arm upwards. So it goes really down, but I believe it will take 2 or 5 minutes or something like that. So yeah, you need a lot of time for the functions. But have you ever seen this here in Germany? Because we have North Rhine-Westphalia, the Ruhrpott, and this is the area around Dortmund, Bochum, Essen, and Gelsenkirchen, Schalke. So perhaps the English-speaking know Dortmund from Borussia Dortmund. Okay, there we have a lot of coal mining, and not deep coal mining. So it's on the ground. In Germany we make big holes. A lot of really big holes with this here. Normally they are between 100 and 140 meters, the big ones, and 40 to 60 meters high. They are really one of the biggest machines that humankind has ever built. And so I can live with that the functions are slow, because the real thing isn't a NASCAR. I've seen a documentation where one of these is moving from one mining position to another, and it's only 20 kilometers or something, and it took days or weeks to get this thing moving the kilometers. And you can imagine what work it is to move such a structure for 20 kilometers or something. What you have to recognize this, the energy cables, autobahn, streets, forest, everything, rivers. So that was incredible documentation. Perhaps you find it on YouTube. It's a German one. I don't know if these excavators are often in the world. I don't know. Okay. Perhaps, or for these who are waiting, Frank, we know that this here is steerable with the smartphone. I don't do it, so I don't test it if you want to do that, but I always prefer the RC. I don't want to use my smartphone for steering this here. So that's Lego. Mould King gives you the possibility of both. That's nice, Mould King. Lego? Okay, please. What was the newest thing? The new Technic set from Lego, the big caterpillar. It's a cool set, but so expensive, and then you don't have the RC. And with the app, you know what it is. You have a new smartphone, perhaps the app's not working, or the developer and Lego or Mould King decides, oh, we get rid of the app. And if you have only the app, like Lego, you have rubbish. You can't use it. So I prefer this here. One last thing, because for me that's always important, because the Germans, well, I believe a lot of people in the world, love to buy sets to rip them off for the parts. So is this thing here a good peace giver? Yes, it is. 5L motors, XL motors, 6-way accu box, 6-way RC. 3 of the big gears here, the yellow ones, and Technic frames, 15 length Technic beams, 13, 11, 7, 5. So many cool pieces. A lot of the track parts here, because we have 6 tracks underneath and our transport band, so that's amazing. This set here is really worth its money. If you don't like the excavator, but you need the parts, you're welcome. That's a great set. That's a great set for butchering, for the pieces. Okay, I don't know what to say. If you have any questions, write it in the comments. I try to answer it. One thing. Here, this dark bluish grey 5 length Technic beam should be blue. But at the end I had only 2 grey ones. So perhaps I did a mistake assembling the last piece here and used blue instead of grey, and so the greys are, I don't know, perhaps the greys have to be here, or perhaps Mould King did it wrong and did them or give me them in the wrong color. I don't know. But for me that's not a bummer, two pieces in a different color on such a big behemoth monster here. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Frank, your Brick Freak. Like I said, write it in the comments if you have any questions, or questions for me that have nothing to do with the set. No problem at all, you're welcome. Okay? Then bye bye, and I catch you in the next one.